How's it going, everybody? This is Todd Abedrabbo. Hope you're having a great day, and welcome back to another video. Alright, it's time for my next to last episode of the Living with Disability mini-series. In this series, I talk about what life is like for people with an intellectual disability and how we can help those with an intellectual disability have a chance to succeed in life. And for this one, this is going to be about the inclusive living pillar of Best Buddies. Now, this is probably one of the most important pillars that Best Buddies has, because just like the jobs program, being able to live independently is very important for somebody with an intellectual disability. And this pillar, along with the program that is involved in it, can help out with that. So I'll explain to you a little bit about the pillar along with their living program and how it can help those with an intellectual disability live independently. Now, as I mentioned in my previous video, it is already hard enough for people with intellectual disabilities to be able to live a successful life. The same thing goes when it comes to living independently. Now, as I mentioned before, as soon as they reach an old age, most people, they usually would have to be moved out of their house by that time. They would have to either have a home or apartment for rent, or purchase their own home, or the worst part, they may end up being homeless, which is ultimately the worst case scenario for everybody. So at some point, most people have to be able to have all the independent living skills they need, so that way they can live independently and ultimately have their own home or apartment. Again, that's only a lot more difficult for people that have an intellectual disability, which is exactly why so many people with an intellectual disability struggle to be able to live independently. It involves a lot of concentration in regards to, paying all of your taxes and your insurance as well, and also making sure that you're being able to navigate from your home to other places like work, or even just like places to hang out or stuff like that, or even just being able to remember everything in your house as well. It's just so hard for those with an intellectual disability to be able to succeed in living independently, because there are a whole bunch of obstacles in regards to independent living that really just makes it so hard on the mind of those with an intellectual disability. Hence why so many of them usually end up still living with their parents, or in some cases end up in a more worser area, like for example being homeless. That is not with the inclusive living pillar of Best Buddies though. In this pillar, it provides an inclusive living space for those with an intellectual disability, so that way not only can they live independently, but also have a lot of fun doing so as well. They'll be able to get all the skills they need, so that way they can be able to live independently and also do a whole lot of fun activities, so that way they can make new friends and have fun doing so as well. Now, this pillar ultimately is what leads into their living program. Now, basically what this program does is that they ultimately group people with and without intellectual disabilities in one home, and basically, they just hang out with each other. They learn the ultimate skills of living with an intellectual disability as an independent, and ultimately learn skills like doing your laundry or paying for all of your insurance, and also making your own food and all that stuff. And then usually most of the time they'll usually just go out their apartments and usually just go to places, have some dinner, or even just enjoy some real cool activities as well. And this program, I think, has done a real help for those with an intellectual disability, because with this program, it allows those that have an intellectual disability a chance to be able to succeed and live independently without the fear of potentially ending up homeless. Ultimately, a lot of people with intellectual disabilities, they just want to be like everybody else. They want to have a normal life, and that includes living in their own home. And this program, while it's not fully their own home, it at least gives them a chance to really have that peace of mind of knowing they get a chance to live their own independent life while also continuing to navigate the whole world that is around them as well. Now, this program is scarce across the United States. There are very few areas around the United States in which this program actually does exist. The majority of it usually comes from Washington, D.C. However, it has expanded across the United States over the last couple years. And the reason why I bring up this pillar is that most recently, Best Buddies New Jersey, which is the area that I'm affiliated with, only just recently got approved for a living program of themselves here in New Jersey. There's actually one now in New Brunswick. This one literally just started back in August earlier this summer, and it's literally right next to the State Theater, New Jersey, which is one of the venues that we at the New Jersey Symphony usually perform at, and literally right next to Rutgers University as well. So this is basically a new area for those in New Jersey that have an intellectual disability to really have a chance to be able to live independently with an intellectual disability. So it's great to see Best Buddies New Jersey really get into the swing of things in regards to that. And yeah, like I said before, ultimately this building, it also has a gym and fitness center, and also probably a laundromat, and it's very close by to a whole bunch of other things as well. A train station, so that way they could go to New York City or Philadelphia, and ultimately, just a whole bunch of cool restaurants as well. So I'm sure that those that are part of the Best Buddies Living program here in New Jersey and New Brunswick, hey, the fact that they're living literally in the middle of a really cool urban city, they're going to have a chance to really have a lot of fun there. Ultimately have a whole lot of good activities to do and really just have a whole bunch of fun in doing so. But yeah, ultimately, this program really is the best of the best in regards to helping those with intellectual disabilities live independently. Now, of course, there are a few things that are, of course, out of their control that the program can help with. Of course, like I said before, finances, like, if that person with an intellectual disability, they have their own insurance, they're still responsible for their own insurance. And also, if they have their own car, ultimately they have to be responsible for driving themselves to one area and then back. Ultimately, unless they take transportation like a bus or something like that. So ultimately, there are still a few obstacles in regards to that. But for the most part, Best Buddies New Jersey, especially Best Buddies International in regards to the living program, they do their best they can to help those with intellectual disabilities live independently. And hey, who knows, after a short amount of time there, if they were able to gain enough independent skills so that way they can ultimately get their own home outside of that, hey, this can really help them prepare to really move into their own space and ultimately utilize the skills that they learned from the living program to be able to successfully live independently. So ultimately, not only is this a great place for them to really get a chance to start living independently, it also gives them a real good opportunity to really prove themselves and ultimately gain the skills they need. So for whenever they actually do rent or purchase their own apartment with their own money, hey, they can move out of that one and ultimately begin living on their own successfully in that area. Trust me, this program does help. Now, if you know me, I'm personally not much of a fan of group homes. I do feel like that there are some pros and also some cons in regards to living in a group home, especially considering that there are other people around in that group home that could cause a bit of a distraction and maybe even a few problems as well. So I'm personally a little bit mixed, maybe a little negative in regards to group home living and all that stuff, especially residential living. But this program for people with intellectual disabilities, this program really helps them out. And I know that Best Buddies is not the only one. I'm sure there are a whole bunch of other programs and businesses around New Jersey and America that helps those with intellectual disabilities ultimately have their own living space as well. So, but ultimately, this pillar is very important because it ultimately gives those with intellectual disabilities a chance to really succeed and learn the skills of living independently. Ultimately, be able to have their own job as well, go to places that they want to go, and really just have a whole lot of fun with those with and without an intellectual disability, and literally just, just enjoy life, ultimately. Many people with intellectual disabilities really just do not have that chance to do so. This pillar and the program helps them do that and then so. Again, just like I mentioned before, everybody with an intellectual disability, they just want to be like everybody else. They want to have a chance to have a normal life. They want to have a chance to have their own job and succeed. And ultimately, they want to have their own home and apartment. But in today's economy, it's just really hard to be able to succeed that. It's just really hard for them to be able to afford the money and the skills they needed to succeed in living independently. And that's exactly why so many people with intellectual disabilities ultimately aren't able to move out of their parents' home as quickly as possible. But with the living program for Best Buddies New Jersey and their inclusive living pillar, this program allows them to be able to really gain those skills and ultimately just have a whole lot of fun, not only with living independently, but also making a whole bunch of new friends to go along with it. So yeah, if you're a family of somebody with an intellectual disability, this is a program that will definitely help them out in regards to living independently. If you're somebody that really pushing to help them with getting their own home and they really want to learn how to live independently, I feel like this program can definitely help out. So I definitely would encourage you to give it a look and really just give them that opportunity to be able to develop those skills in that program so that way they can be able to live independently and ultimately succeed in life. Trust me, a lot of people with intellectual disabilities, they want to go far just like us. And just like with getting a job and ultimately getting through college, living in their own home is one of them, and this program helps them do that, and then some. Alright, that's going to do it for this video. Next week's video will be the very last in the Living with Disability mini-series before the Best Buddies Gala on November 15th, so I'm really looking forward to bringing down the curtain on this mini-series. It's been a whole lot of fun getting to present it to you, and like I said before, next week is the gala, so if you haven't done so already, please chip in and help donate to my Champion of the Year campaign. It really helps because your support ultimately helps with all the great programs and chapters at Best Buddies New Jersey, like the Living Program. This is the organization in which me and my mission partner Danny Margueras has really thrived in, and so ultimately your support matters. So again, if you haven't done so already, please chip in and donate to my campaign. Your support is very appreciated. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, if you'd like to see more of my content, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know my latest video is released. Comment below for future suggestions for my videos, whether it's blogs, projects, or challenges, you name it. Leave it in the comments below, and I'll do my best to make them. And as always, follow me on my social media. All the links are in the description below. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you're having a great day. And as always, I hope to see you all again in another video very soon. So long, everybody.